Hi guys, this is Park from Roundtable DAO team. Welcome to the show. Hope you liked the music intro. Very nice jingle from our Eric Riziak and Thunder Jackson. Of course, I'm not alone today. Hi Jay, how you doing?
Hi everyone, welcome to the Roundtable DAO show. With the rise of NFTs seeming to gain great ground in the crypto space, oops, sorry about that. Okay, so as I was saying, with the rise of NFTs seeming to gain great ground in the crypto space, the creation of applications for them is limited to the developers or the technically initiated. Now, while NFTs are becoming mainstream, more non-developers are taking an interest in the market. However, acquiring the required tools and knowledge is a significant time and resource demanding process for them. So XP.network, which is with us today, is a Polkadot parachain that will allow you to deploy NFT products and services to any supported blockchain, including Facebook's upcoming DM. And through its Pioneer application editor, XP.network removes entry barriers for entrepreneurs, developers, product makers, and projects by allowing the creation of NFT apps using no-code tools. Now we have with us today Nir Blumberger, which is former executive at Amazix and Firmo, which was acquired by eToro, now Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of XP.network, as well as Dima Briukhanov, who has years of development experience in C, C++, and Rust and Solidity, and now Chief Technical Officer of XP.network with us. Now, they will answer a few questions for us by helping us understand this great new project, which is at XP.network. Now, Nir, Dima, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Great, thank you for having us, guys.
Thanks for having. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Our pleasure. Hi guys. So, first question. Where did the XP.network idea and name came from originally? What is the history behind it? Can you tell us something?
That's a good question. That's a good question. And the answer to that is that we looked for something at the beginning to do with the Facebook's DM, and we wanted also to do let me actually go one step back. What we wanted to achieve is to create simplicity in everything that we do, right? So when we started, actually, we thought about Facebook's DM. We wanted to create simple tools for the adoption and growth of Facebook's DM. We started with the thought about, okay, so experiment and express sounds like a bit like XP. We looked for it, and then we decided to call it XPDM, and we liked the way that it sounds. And then after we started, then we grew. Before our pre-sale, we had a few months that we have been self-funded, and we've been architecting, and we have been building the whole idea of XP.network as it is today. And then we decided to broaden up our reach for more blockchains and not to focus only on the agnosticness of Facebook's DM, because we want to support that growth of regulated chains. And then we just trimmed the DM from it, and we were left with the XP. And we were lucky enough to get the XP.network domain. So we like it, and we think it's simple, easy to remember. And now we focusing on the network and adding more chains. So it's a broad enough meaning for us.
Here. Why the choice of a Polkadot parachain instead of like a Solana network, for example?
So from my perspective, I can answer, Dima can take it in terms of technically, but from my perspective, I can say that we wanted to join what we believe is the simplest growing ecosystem in the space. And at the time, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, when we started, Polkadot has been really appealing to us. And we have also from our internal network projects and developers that knew Polkadot and knew how it works. And basically, it's been very appealing to us to go for Polkadot, while Solana is doing an amazing job. And definitely we are also integrating and partnering with the team of Solana to create the integration of Solana into the bridge. But we decided to base ourselves on the Polkadot. So from technical side, Dima can also elaborate.
Yeah, well, the Polkadot community has a wonderful substrate framework that allows you to quickly build very efficient blockchains that are compatible with the rest of the Polkadot system. All the tools are open source. They're supported by the teams that develop them. And there are many tools still being built and they are compatible with each other. So we thought it would be a good start for us to build our own blockchain using such tools rather than inventing the wheel.
Yeah, right. Great. So
Apart from that, sorry.
Yeah, no, go, please.
Yeah, apart from that, there's the very good documentation, and the ecosystem is very helpful in case you have a problem. They're very eager to give you advice. That's another reason.
Which is totally very important as a developer. Support is everything.
Right.
Okay, so I'm a software developer, for example, so I like this question. But due to the huge success of NFTs, also Visa bought a CryptoPunk recently, we all know. I was thinking of developing an NFT-based dApp where people can use NFT for lending money. Can we realize something similar with the XP.network platform?
Yeah, so the platform that we build is, first of all, we have two paths, right? So the path number one that we work on is the blockchain development team, which are building the first of its kind flat ecosystem for moving fungible and non-fungible tokens between EVM and non-EVM chains alike in one click. So this is the bridge. This is the bridge that is also live right now. You can actually go and test it, bridge.xp.network. And this is the first work in the infrastructure that we do. And this is also the base and the foundation of the partnerships and integrations that we create with both chains and projects. Now for the product that we develop, which is the first use case that we are going to launch ourselves on the bridge tech, is the Codeless application editor. And it's worth to put like two sentences about it, that this is the first of its kind Codeless dApp builder in the space. And this is the first use case that we're going to launch on the bridge tech from in terms of working application on top of the integration that we do with the other chains for their applications. And the Codeless dApp will provide and will grow into many kind of use cases, like you just described, lending, NFT collateralization, NFTs like it could be for media player, it could be also for the normal use case that we know right now, which is marketplace, legal contracts, ticketing system, and many more. So basically the Codeless dApp builder, the vision here is to create something that could, like any NFT project that you know right now, could be built on that Codeless dApp, right? And it will be multi-chain straight out of the box. So the experience that we wanted to give, we are really addressing to the non-crypto enthusiasts only. So we are also addressing to the broad market, and we believe that NFTs are currently in a hype state and they're going to become more normalized over time into a digital assets kind of state of mind. And we wanted to support those product makers, designers, and entrepreneurs and founders that want to come in and not necessarily have now the army of developers to develop to each specific chain. So we wanted to give them the ability to actually build their dApp, NFT dApp specifically, on the Codeless dApp with dApp editor without any need for codes, just like Wix, Squarespace, Webflow, and other platforms in the space, and deployed right away to all the chains without even thinking about it. So that's the vision of the Codeless dApp, and definitely lending mechanism is one of those.
Amazing. So basically giving them as much power as somebody who has more knowledge. I like that. Now you mentioned that we will be able to create NFTs with or without code, just like you just said. Can you elaborate a little bit the process?
Dapps, not NFTs. NFT dApps.
Yeah, NFT dApps. I'm sorry. With or without code. Can you elaborate the process a little bit for our viewers, like how it's going to work?
So first of all, we have like a very short and brief, just to tease the mind, demo on the website of like, it's a graphic demo that you can see the onboarding process that we do. We are very much aiming to do the same experience. If you scroll down, you can see that. We are very much aiming for the experience of, again, Wix, Webflow, Squarespace. We want to bring the simple principles that we see in the market right now, and we want to simplify that process as much as possible. So the thing is that we are basically the product team. They are pre-developing this kind of NFT dApp use cases. And in the future, we hope also there will be a community and a whole marketplace around creating those NFT dApp use cases. And what we do is that we want to give the experience of just like selecting a template, right, over one of those Codeless builders of the non-crypto space. And so you can basically select like a template, which this template could be the kind of dApp that you have, that you want to build. And after that, you select the functionalities, you set up basically the smart contracts in a simple way, non-technical threatening way. And this is the whole process that we built. So you can click on the ledger, click on it. Yeah, and then you can see, this is what we have in mind. Of course, we are already 2 steps ahead in terms of the thought process and the actual development. But once we release, we are aiming to release by the end of this year an alpha working version of the application editor. And then all the testers will have the ability to actually practice and share their experience and also share it with us. And we will then improve it up to the beta version and then to the release. Yeah.
So suppose I deployed my NFT dApp on Ethereum via XP.network platform. Can I then deploy a similar app on BSC, on Binance Smart Chain, or Avalanche, Solana? Is there also some kind of out-of-bridge available? Maybe a future update? Great.
Definitely, yes. And if you play with it a bit with the screens here, you actually move to a screen which tells you that the dApp is going to be like straight out of the box. You don't even have to think about it. It's going to be supported and deployed on all the chains supported on XP. So it's not even like you have to choose which one you're going to support. It's something that we see the only future for blockchain, the only future for those kind of applications is unified. So yeah, click on one of those, like enable them. Yeah, and go for continue. Yeah, and here we go, this one. So it's just, it's straight out of the box. This is the vision that we have. We don't even want to give selection. Every chain, another chain join tomorrow, it's supported right out of the box. So that's the vision for the dApp editor, and that's the unified vision that we have for this and for the whole space, right?
Great.
Yeah. Can you explain in a simple way how it's going to be possible to import or migrate NFTs from other blockchains?
Dima, that's you.
For viewers.
Yeah, right. Okay. So for this, we have a multi-bridge, and the multi-bridge consists of several parts. One part lives in one chain, another part lives in the other chain, and usually those are smart contracts or pallets written in Rust. Between those parts is a pool of validators. Each of them runs the nodes of all the chains that are bridged in order to be able to listen to the events of those chains. If a user sends a transaction from one blockchain to another, our pallet or smart contracts lock or freeze the NFTs or fungible tokens and emit a transaction so that the validators get notified. The validators see that this event has occurred, and they transmit this transaction to the target chain. And once enough validators have signed this transaction with their private keys, the target smart contract or pallet collect the Byzantine fault tolerance threshold of signatures. And when this threshold is achieved, it means enough validators have approved this transaction, it's valid, and you can transmit it to the target chain, and then the equal number of tokens or NFTs are released to the target account. This is pretty much how it works in brief.
It's great to hear.
What is important is that the target smart contract checks the Byzantine fault tolerance under the control of the on-blockchain validators, which is very secure.
Yeah. So talking about the IDO, the project will launch on BSC at the beginning, also Camify, not sure. We will have a network switch also in future. Let's say to Ethereum other network.
Sorry, I didn't get the question, Dima.
Yeah, so the question is that we're going to have an IDO. It's going to be on BSC and Occam, correct? Occam Razor.
Yeah. Do you
So sorry, maybe I understood. What was the question again, please?
Will you also launch a token?
Launched. Yeah.
Yes, on Ethereum, other networks. Lot of
Correct. What we do is that we already had a successful launch this morning, which is actually still live with Gate IO, and XP.net is going to be launched tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, Tuesday, on the 14th of September, with BSC Ped and with the OCAM. So the XP.net will eventually will be BEP20 on BSC Smart on Binance Smart Chain, and for OCAM, what we do, because OCAM is based on ERC, that we are going to launch the token on ERC just for the OCAM IDO, and then we're going to eventually it's going to end up as a BEP20 XP.net. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now.
All right, Astra, I believe we're going to be ready for live questions.
Yeah. There are
sure.
a lot of questions that people wrote. So the first one, let me check. So XP.network forged claims to be easy to use and build. How easy it is actually? This question, I guess we already answered with the demo that we showed previously. Let me check another ones. So since the blockchain is a living public document, you will not be keeping personally identifiable information on the blockchain, but you will convert user data to a digital shadow, which cannot be publicly traced back to the user. How will this data transformation process take place within the protocol, and how will you ensure that the initial collected data will eventually be discarded? So we are talking about privacy basically in this question. How privacy data are used, managed, if any is collected, of course.
Well, like the user initially said, him or herself, we are not collecting any personal data at all. We don't need it. When a user creates an account, a private key is generated and is stored on this user's computer. Only this user has access to this private key, and the user is completely anonymous. We don't collect and we don't know who stands behind this or that account. In terms of property, our blockchain can prove that this particular account has this amount of tokens and this amount of NFTs. That's all we can do, and that's all we can expose. This information is public.
Of course. Great. So let me check another question also. So, talking about marketing strategies, what features of the platform interest most users? Do you think will be most attractive? Have you centered the platform more in the earning of revenue of our users or solving problems? So let's talk about something. So
Okay, so I'll break that down to two. The first is, I believe the question was, how are you going to market, right? XP, and the second question was monetization. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
So in terms of marketing for XP, what we do is that we are building, as part of the partnerships and integrations that we do with the different chains, we are addressing first to their communities, to actually deliver over the promise that they can now every minted NFT on Tron, Polygon, Elrond, Cardano, you name it, is now fully multi-chain. That's how we tear the walls between the blockchains. We are truly believing that sentence, right? This is the flat ecosystem, and every project that we are going also to release announcement with, every NFT project that has spent so many funds and energy and focus and brain power into supporting single chain in the best way possible can now simply connect itself to XP Bridge Tech, and it's now all of the minted NFTs on that project and on that chain are now fully multi-chain and can now flow freely through the bridge. And this is the work that we do. This is the important work that we believe that we are doing to the space to increase adoption. And the marketing that we do is for the communities and by us, so we share the abilities, and we share the projects, and the blockchains are sharing those abilities, and you can see that we've been also endorsed heavily by Elrond for the technology, and more endorsements are going to come soon from our bridge partners. And this is the best marketing that we believe it is. We bring real value to the market, and we are increasing the adoption. Now, for the second question regarding monetization, so right now the answer is there is no set in stone decision for monetization. There are many kind of types of monetization that we think about, right? Especially, of course, involved in the token, and also for the dApp application editor. But right now, really, XP has completed its pre-sale, and it's one of our main focuses is really to give the market the ability to test it and see how it behaves and create those partnerships, build the ecosystem, and monetization will follow from usage of the XP.net token and possibly also from the dApp application editor from usage and also royalties of the NFTs. But nothing is set in stone at the moment. We will see down the road.
So another question from our viewer, if you click to play the XP network demo right now, the Ledger wallet will be selected in wallet settings. Now, I wonder if XP network only supports hardware wallets in the future or any other wallet?
No, XP network will support all major wallets. And again, this is just a demo. You can actually go to bridge.xp.network and you can see that you have demo XP wallet and you can choose like other wallets. So and we will be prepared to all of the major wallets altogether.
Okay. So, for example, in this case, I would need to be on Ethereum wallet or a BSC. Which network? It's the same. You will support all major platforms.
So the answer is simple. Every supported chain that joined to the bridge of the bridge tech XP we will support its wallet. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question. Any possibility that XP network to remove any blockchain option from its network in any scenario? So you are integrating a lot of networks, so there may be some reason to remove one if this is something feasible, I guess. This is the question he's asking the user.
Well, there should be a very serious reason for us to make such a decision to remove a blockchain from the integration. We are not having any plans to do so, but if a blockchain
the answer is no. The answer is no.
The answer is no. Yeah, I can't even think of
and I cannot see any formidable reason to do so. So.
Okay.
It's great to hear.
Yeah.
We have a question on the funding, if you guys don't mind answering. XPNet token allocations are 10% for seed, 10% for strategic, and 18.5 for private sales, and in total is 38.5 of the total supply. Do you have a plan to prevent a huge dump at the launch, or have these seeds, strategic and private sale tokens vesting periods?
So if you could repeat the last couple of sentences, I lost you.
They're asking if you have a plan to prevent a huge dump at the launch, basically.
So the plans to prevent future dump in the launch is our token metrics, and this is, you can just, everyone is welcome to look over the token metrics over the XP network website. And what we did is that the way that we built it is with the project in mind, right? So we wanted to keep it the project not dumping right away. We wanted to keep as normalized as possible when the launch is coming and avoid any dumps. And I can only, instead of diving into that right now, I can only welcome everyone that wants to see. They can come to the website, look over the token metrics. And if there are any more elaborated questions, they can ask over the community at XP.network on Telegram, and one of our community managers will be happy to provide answers.
That's great to hear. A lot of support from you guys. I like that.
Let me check if there are other questions also in the live chat. Okay, this is a nice one. How would you block a malicious user who wants to print NFT from copyrighted works on the XP network? How will XP network protect the proven NFT? What rules did you set? No, but this is, I don't think this is something for you in the end, because as we say, the NFT is for DApp development, it's not for minting NFT, right? So
correct.
This is something not related to.
Well, in fact, we're thinking of developing a tool for finding duplicate NFTs, but that's not even on our roadmap this year. So maybe next year, this is something that we will think of. But the maximum that we can do, even with that tool, is just warn the ecosystem and the original owner of the NFT that we see a duplicate.
Nice.
Something to look forward to. That's nice.
Yeah. But that's going to be a big help for the initial owner anyway. Because manually finding it would be near to impossible.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So there are not any more questions. I don't know if you guys have something else to say. We didn't ask, maybe.
Any closing statements or things you would like to say to the public?
Yeah. So tomorrow is the launch. XP.net goes live tomorrow, and we're going live for the launch of. On both of our launch partners, BSCPED and OCAM. Gate.io is live right now. Right after the launch, we're going to be listed on PancakeSwap and Gate as well. So one DEX, one SEX, and more information will follow. And yeah, join to the Telegram community. Follow us on Twitter. We are sharing announcements every few hours.
Awesome. Nir, Dima, thank you very much for coming to the Roundtable DAO TV show. We had a lot of fun today, a lot of great questions, a lot of great explanations. You guys certainly know your stuff. So thanks again for coming.
Thanks for having us. Thanks. Bye.
Ciao, guys.
Bye. Have a nice day. Peace.